Who made the biggest splash during this MLB offseason and who just absolutely fumbled? That is the question going into this 2026 MLB season, and I think I have the answers for you guys right here on Kai Sports Corner. So here are my winners and losers for this year's offseason. Now, I want to get started with the Baltimore Orioles. I think that the O's had a great offseason. I think getting Zach Eflin to re-sign was a huge deal. I also think too getting Pete Alonso, Ryan Helsley, adding depth to the lineup and to the bullpen was huge for this O's squad. I do think that they need a little bit more help when it comes to the starting five, but if guys like Eflin and John Means can get back to their previous form, this could be a very scary squad in the AL East. The other team in the AL I want to talk about is the Oakland A's. Now, this was a team I was expecting a lot out of during this offseason, but they just really didn't wow me. I thought Jacob Wilson re-signing and getting that extension was absolutely massive. It was highway robbery for the A's there, but I do think that there was so much potential to go out and go get new starters for the starting rotation, and they just didn't do that. I really thought this team was going to put something together, especially with a great young core that they have right now, but they just weren't able to get the pieces together in the pitching rotation and in the bullpen. But if they're able to step that up, they could be a real contender for the AL West. I'm telling you, Seattle's got to watch out. Now, I want to transfer over to the National League because to me, I think one of the biggest winners of this offseason was the New York Mets. While they did let Pete Alonso, Ryan Helsley, and Edwin Diaz all walk, I still think they did a great job getting guys like Bo Bichette, Lou Bob, Freddie Peralta. To me, I think the biggest need for the Mets was upgrading the starting rotation and the bullpen, and they did just that. I do think first base is going to be a big position that the Mets just aren't able to fill, but I do think that this team is going to be a contender to win the NL East if they just don't net. To me, my biggest loser of this MLB offseason, though, has to be the Philadelphia Phillies, also in the NL East. They signed an aging JT Realmuto, they signed an aging Kyle Schwarber that were all going to leave during this offseason, and they let Ranger Suarez walk. This is a team that needs young guys to plug up holes in the outfield, especially in the bullpen, and they just didn't really get anybody. I was expecting big things from this squad, and they are the exact same squad as last year. And every year this team ages, the World Series hopes for the Phillies diminishes with that. I think the Phillies have a great lineup, and the more and more that they kind of postpone these transactions that will actually elevate this team, the more and more they're not going to win a World Series. But I want you guys to let me know down below what were your winners and losers of this MLB offseason. Leave a like, leave a comment, and if you guys like my content, make sure to follow as well on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. And chew!